Okay.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for your patience and welcome to our May 19th, 2022 Special Magistrate hearing for the Building Division. If there's anyone who wishes to speak at today's proceedings, please stand and raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm to tell the truth at today's proceedings? Thank you. You all may be seated. At this time, please silence all of your devices. Our first case is a hearing to impose fines. At the bottom of page 12, Chief Inspector George Oliva, property address 2426 Southeast 17th Street, owner Village at Harbor Beach Condo Association, case number BE 200400357. This case was first heard 2/18/21 to comply by 4/1/21. One section not complied at $100. City is requesting to impose fines of $23,200, which continues to accrue.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Chief George Olive on behalf of the city. We're going to be presenting the case and address as read. This is a 40-year case that haven't been complied. It came in front of you a year ago, back in February 2021, and we provide then with a 180-day extension due to the report had correction requires. As we are today, they haven't submitted any other report to the city, or they don't have a restoration permit for the defect listed in the 40 years report. So at this moment, the city is requesting for the fine to be imposed until they come into compliance.
All right, sir. Good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor.
You'll state your name and speak right into the microphone.
Yes, Your Honor. Ryan Aboud, A-B-O-U-D.
All right.
I'm the attorney for the association.
What would you like to add?
I'd just like to add that I understand what was going to happen here today. I spoke to Mr. Oliva before this hearing commenced, and I do want to let Your Honor know that we do have the inspection reports for the electric and the structure from an engineer dated September 2020. I know that's bizarre. I don't know why prior management or the engineer did not submit it to the city, but my understanding is that they were not submitted to the city, notwithstanding that they were done before the first notice, but I will get with Mr. Oliva. I've received an email address where I can submit them, and I will get them submitted.
All right, Leah, let's get this moving.
And I understand from Mr. Oliva saying that he would support a reduction in the fines if we can get it submitted once we come into compliance, of course.
Yeah, once you come into compliance, we'll review that. But for today, I'm going to impose the fines, and they'll continue to accrue.
Completely understood.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Oliva.
You will.
Our next case is a new business case on page 4. Inspector Nash Maddock, property address 2165 Northwest 19th Street, case number BE 211-00280. Owners, Travelers Express Services, Inc. Notice posted at the property on 3/28/22, posted at City Hall 5/5/22.
Good morning, Your Honor. Inspector Maddock presenting the case for the city for the address and case as read. This case was opened on January 12th, 2022. During our visit to the property, we observed multiple violations that we cited at that time. Additionally, there is a case open with Broward County on a structure erected without a permit that has not been resolved as of yet. Inspection report was mailed on this property owner on October 20th of 2021, and the notice of hearing was posted on March 24th, 2022. Current status of the case as of today, permit application has not been applied for any of the work on repairs that this property was cited for. City is requesting that owner appear on the next hearing in 28 days to give an update on permitting process and course of the repairs. At this time, we're asking Your Honor to find that the violation exists and to grant the property owner 28 days to come in compliance or fine of $50 per violation per day thereafter.
All right, sir, if you'll speak right into the microphone and state your name, please.
Morning, Your Honor. Sean Singh.
Did you understand what this gentleman said?
Yes, Your Honor, but I wasn't the owner on the property when he cited the property. I owned this property on December of 2021, and these violation was from in October, and I don't know why I acquired these
All
violations.
right. Okay. For the record, I'm going to find that the violations exist 28 days to comply, $50 per day thereafter. And sounds like this might be a good one for a mandatory reappearance.
Yes, in 28 days, we would like to find out if permits have been applied for
Okay.
and to see the status of all the violations, if any of it
Yeah, so
has
this will be,
been repaired.
okay, 28 days to comply on each, $50 per day thereafter on each. Mandatory reappearance on June 16th, 2022.
Your Honor, I wasn't the owner of the property, so how did I acquire these violations? I didn't receive the.
I'm sorry, if you'll speak right into the microphone, please.
Yeah, I wasn't the owner of the property when these violation was issued.
But they exist now.
So I acquired these violations from the previous owner?
I'm sorry.
Did I get these violations from the previous owner? 'Cause when I purchased the property, it said it should be free.
When did you take ownership?
December the 21st, 2021. These violation was from in October. I just got this notice,
22.
just got this night notice 22, 3/24/22.
Okay,
And
but
it's
they
in my
continue to exist.
So I acquired these violations from the previous
Your Honor,
owner?
if I may,
Yes.
the violations run with the land. So I understand that the violators just took over the property in December, though the violations exist in October. He had the duty and the right to do due diligence, and he should speak to his title company and address that. But they do run with the land.
Okay.
Your Honor, I did speak to the title company, and in my contract, it said the property should be free and clear of all liens and violation
Well,
before the
that's
transfer
between
was
you
done.
and the prior owner.
The prior owner said everything was cleared and taken care
Okay,
of
sir,
before the transfer.
I understand your point, but it's not a valid point, okay?
Okay.
I've made my ruling, mandatory reappearance in 28 days.
Okay.
Thank you.
Our next case is a new business case on page 6. Inspector Alejandro Del Rio, property address 1516 Southwest 28th Ave. Case number BE 211-20091. Owner William B. Dunham, Jean Hanna, and all others. Notice posted at the property on 4/27/22, posted at City Hall 5/5/22.
Good morning. Building Inspector Del Rio for the city, presenting case as read. This case was opened on December 15, 2021. Property was cited for the following violation. Florida Building Code 2020, Section 111.1.1, certificate of occupancy for addition completed under permit number PM 15063399 has not been obtained, and the addition is being used or occupied. Section Florida Building Code 2020 105.3.2.1, the permit PM 15063399 has been left to expire. Notice of hearing was posted at the property on April 7, 2022. City is requesting 28 days to comply or $50 per day thereafter.
Okay. All right, sir, if you'll speak right into the microphone and state your name, please.
William Dunham.
All right, sir, anything you'd like to ask, to add to what's been stated?
I've talked to him earlier, with an extended 28 days. I have, all the paperwork is into the city, just waiting for the approval.
Excellent. Let's hope this gets cleared up within 28 days. But for the record, I find the violations do exist. 28 days to comply, $50 per day thereafter.
No problem.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Our next case is on page 9. Property address 401 North Fort Lauderdale Beach Boulevard. Owner Capri Hotel LLC. Inspector Jorge Martinez. Case number BE 211-00366. This case was first heard on 1/20/22 to comply by 3/24/22. Fine suspended as noted. One section not complied at $50. This case was ordered to reappear.
Tasha, there is two cases.
Yeah, but it's two different addresses, so we have to deal with them one at a time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Building Inspector Del Rio for the city, updating case as read. Property is still not in compliance. Building permit for the repairs was already applied for. I'm gonna let the representative of the property, Mr. Dan King, to speak.
All right, sir, if you'll speak right into the microphone and state your name, please.
Daniel King.
All right, tell me what's happening here. This was heard on January 20th to comply by March 24th. And I guess there was an extension of time and we're still not in compliance.
Yeah,
Or are we?
yeah, it's a-
You're not in compliance.
It's not in compliance. It's a big project, Your Honor, so probably we will have them back
Okay.
here again with another update.
And just,
Okay. To five,
sorry.
okay, all right, so the fines were stayed until today.
yes,
All right, I got it.
yeah.
So tell me what's happening.
So the original complaint, there was a facade defect. All the emergency repairs were done, and that permit was done and closed, and so everything has been made safe. Since then, now, last hearing, we hired a project manager. We've bid the project out. We've selected a general contractor. We've applied for permits, tentative start date June 1st. And it'll probably take at least 6 months to do all the work. This is 2 high-rise buildings. So it'll be an ongoing project, and we'll keep you posted at whatever intervals.
Well, have all your permits been issued?
No, they're all applied for. We've just selected the general contractor. They have to put their name in it, and it'll be issued in the name of the general contractor. But we got permission to submit the permits and the engineering plans in advance to expedite the process.
All right, so what's the
City
city?
will support suspending the fines and having them back in 3 months for another update.
All right, okay. We'll grant an extension, 91-day extension until August 18th, 2022, with a mandatory reappearance on that date.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, the next case is at the bottom of page 9. Property address 3101 Bayshore Drive, owner Fort Lauderdale Residences Hotel Condo Association, case number BE 211-00368. This case was first heard on 1/20/22 to comply by 3/24/22. Fine suspended as noted, one section not complied at $50. This case was also ordered to reappear.
Building Inspector Alejandro Del Rio for the city. Your Honor, this is same case. Property comprises 2 folios, so that's why there is 2 cases for the same thing, but it's the same exact situation we just talked about.
All right, so we'll do the same ruling.
Yeah, same thing, same building. It's just one tower is owned by a condo association.
Okay, and we'll stay, grant a 91-day extension, mandatory reappearance on 8/18/22.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 9 as well. At the top, property address 4100 Gulf Ocean Drive. Inspector Leonardo Martinez. Owner, The Galleon Condo Apartments, Inc., case number BE 2108-0064. This case was first heard 1/20/22 to comply by 4/21/22. One section not complied at $50. This case was ordered to reappear.
Good morning, Your Honor. Inspector Martinez, representing the city. Case and others as read. The problem with this building about the pool is that they're doing a concrete restoration permit. They have a permit for the concrete restoration, but they haven't submitted anything on the pool. Okay, and the unsafe is on the pool. There are cars still parking under it. There is spalling concrete. There are some. There is I got pictures of leaks. So we asked for them to reappear with the condition that they would submit and the concrete restoration permit the revision for the pool. Put the revision in so it can be processed in the city. That hasn't happened yet, sir. So the city will request another 42-day extension or $100 per day thereafter if they don't comply submitting the revision into the city. I'm gonna let the defendant to speak.
All right, okay, your request is a 42-day extension. Is that correct?
Yes, 42 days extension for them to submit the pool if they're gonna submit it as a revision on the concrete restoration permit, or $100 per day thereafter.
All right, sir, if you'll speak right into the microphone and state your name, please.
My name is Bruce Bromley, and I represent the association. We are the engineer of record for the association. We have put together, we were here last month, we put together the full package for the revision, and we will now have the contractor submit for the revision. There's a spot over where the area that we had identified to the city that we will have knocked out, or so it doesn't fall. That's what the city's concerned about.
Okay. All right. Okay, so you got your paperwork done, you just haven't submitted it.
The contractor will submit, yes.
Okay.
The paperwork just got finished.
For the record, then, I'm gonna find the violation does exist. 42 days to comply, or at least submit the paperwork, $100 per day thereafter, and it sounds
Your
like we
Honor,
need another mandatory.
I would like for them to reappear on the hearing and after the 42 days, because after the permit is submitted and issued, I want to make sure that in another 180 days, they complete the work.
Okay, when is the? Yeah, that won't, August 18th. Okay,
Okay, no problem.
all right, so,
And the August hearing, I would like for them to come back so we can address
no
the
July?
time that we're gonna give.
No July hearings? Okay, so we'll do a mandatory reappearance on August 18th, 2022.
That sounds good. Thank
Good.
you, Your Honor.
Stay in touch with this gentleman, communications.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Our next case is a new business case at the top of page 4. Inspector Nash Maddock, property address 1633 Northeast 16th Ave, owner Charon Family Trust, Norman Charon, trustee, case number BE 211-10124. This notice was posted at the property on 4/19/22, posted at City Hall 5/5/22.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Inspector Maddock presenting the case and address is read. This case was opened November 23rd, 2021 by a building inspector, Alexander Alboris, for work without obtaining a proper permit when the property was cited under Florida Building Code Section 105.1. The work consists of exterior door replaced, carport supporting columns replaced, stucco wood frame and wall under carport and underground pool. Stop work order was issued on December 3rd, 2021. Inspection report was mailed to the property owner on December 6th, 2021. Final notice was mailed to property owner on January 5th, 2021, and notice of hearing was posted on the property on April 7th, 2022. Current status of the case: general permit application has been submitted under BLD RMIS 220-50011, and it was applied on May 16, 2022. It's still awaiting client's reply. Permit for swimming pool structure has not been applied for at this time. We're asking Your Honor to find that the violation exists and to grant the property owner 28 days to come into compliance or a fine of $50 per violation per day thereafter.
All right, sir, if you'll speak right into the microphone and state your name, please.
Hi, good morning, Your Honor.
Did you-
Alexandre Alves.
I'm sorry, you understand what this gentleman said?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
And what would you like to add?
First of all, I'm sorry for the delay on application for the permit. I have an issue with our general contractor that he had an open heart surgery and I have to wait for him to,
Okay,
yeah, and that's the main reason it took so long. And
okay, all right, okay, then we gotta focus on this though.
yes.
Okay, and I find the violation does exist, 28 days to comply, $50 per day thereafter. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 11. It's a hearing to impose fines. Inspector Nash Maddock, property address 941 Southwest 30th Ave, owner Keith Gale, case number CE 201-01321. This case was first heard on 4/15/21 to comply by 6/17/21. One section not complied at $50. City is requesting to impose the full amount of $16,750, which continues to accrue.
Good morning, Your Honor. Inspector Maddock presenting the case as read. This case is still not in compliance.
All right.
City is requesting that fines be imposed.
All right, sir, if you'll speak right into the microphone and state your name, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Actually, my name is Warren Gale. My brother is the one that owned the property. What really happened is he do construction work, and he fell from fourth story and break his shoulder.
I'm sorry, let's back up. You are not the owner of the property.
My brother is.
Your brother is. Okay, are you an attorney?
No.
Okay, do you have a power of attorney from your brother to appear on his behalf today?
Not really. Leave with me. I came here before. I understand things change.
Your Honor, if I may, sir, Patricia Sainville Joseph, Assistant City Attorney. Unless we have a power of attorney and affidavit from the brother, the owner of the property, there's really no need to move forward because he does not have authority to.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. If you want to take another case while staff checks
Can I say?
verification. Sure.
Okay. Can I go back and get some type of authorization from him and come back some other time?
Okay.
Because he's sick. He can't live at my house. He can't move. He's breaking his shoulder.
Sorry. Staff did advise him that if he didn't have the proper paperwork, that he could not speak on the case. He can hear the results, but he has no authority to speak on the case. So he was advised that at the beginning of the hearing.
Okay, I'm gonna tell me where we are.
Well, my opinion stands that this gentleman, I understand he may be the property owner's brother, but unless he can show proof that he has the authority to present the case and represent his brother's interests, then we're not at liberty to entertain you, sir. I apologize. You can go back home. It's at the discretion of the special master. You can go back home and secure an affidavit from your brother, but it must be notarized. And I don't know if Your Honor is willing to grant him some time to come back or continue the hearing, given that he's representing that the brother is home and unable to move. But without some kind of documentation, and it must be notarized, that your brother's authorizing you to proceed.
We have another building hearing a week from today, right?
Yes, but that's for a different division. Our next hearing is June.
Okay.
Again, I would be willing to advise, Your Honor, that if it is at your discretion, should you wish to give him a hardship continuance so that he can secure the proper documentation, those staff has.
If we reset the next hearing will be August 18th.
Did you say June or August?
June.
I'm sorry,
June 16th.
June, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I believe the fines
Certainly,
are still running.
of course.
Right. The fines will continue to run, and at that time, Your Honor, or whoever the special master is would.
Yeah, I mean, this has been, I don't know what the situation is, but this has been going on for a long time. So I'm gonna impose the fines and they'll continue to accrue, and there'll be a mandatory reappearance by a qualified representative on June 16th, 2022. Your brother will get a written order in the mail. Okay,
Okay.
all right.
So at
Thank
that
you.
time, you can get your proper paperwork and
Yeah.
come back and speak on your brother's behalf.
Thank you very much.
You know,
Thank you.
Okay.
yeah, and fines are imposed, yes. Our next case is on page 5. Inspector Nash Maddock, property address 2700 Northeast 57th Street. Owner Glenroy LLC. Case number BE 22010065. Notice posted at the property on 3/28/22. Posted at City Hall 5/5/22.
Good morning, Your Honor. Inspector Maddock presenting the case as read. This case was opened January 12th, 2022 for work without obtaining a permit on the interior renovation and enclosing a garage. Property was cited under the City Ordinance 9-1D, work without obtaining a permit. Inspection report was mailed on the property, to the property owner January 12th of 2022. Final notice was mailed on March 15 of 2022, and notice of hearing was posted on the property on March 22, 2022. Current status of the case as of today, permit application has not been applied for this work. I was in contact with Mr. Duhane, and in our last conversation, he informed me that he has hired licensed professional to provide plans for this project. We're asking Honor to find that the violation exists and to grant the property owner 63 days to come into compliance or a fine of $50 per violation per day thereafter.
Okay. All right, sir, if you'll speak right in the microphone and state your name, please.
Christian Duhane.
All right. What would you like to add, if anything?
I think we're okay with the additional 63 days
All right, very
requested
good.
to
So,
obtain our permits and correct the work.
for the record, I found the violation does exist, 63 days to comply, $50 per day thereafter. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 13. Inspector Leonardo Martinez, property address 329 Southwest 2nd Street. Owner Martin L. Zischholtz, case number BE 21010004. This case was first heard on 11/18/21 to comply by 1/20/22. Two sections not complied at $50. City is requesting to impose fines of $11,800, which continues to accrue.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Building Inspector Leo Martinez, case and address as read. I'm gonna allow the defendant to speak.
Okay. All right, sir, if you'll speak right into the microphone and state your name, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. My name is Rodney Eli.
And are you the owner of the property?
No, I'm the business owner, sir.
You own the business.
Yes, correct. And I believe there should be a letter on file, a notarized letter from the business.
Okay, all right. Go ahead, tell me what's happening here.
I feel like I've been diligent and trying to resolve this since citation. However, we are in a historic district, and it took a tremendous amount of front work to get to this point. We had to go through Historic Preservation Board before we were able to apply for our permits. We did get through finally get through the board, and we received a final certificate of occupancy. That was just received a little over a month ago. The permits have been applied for. Those permits are in review right now, and I believe we've made it almost all the way through the review process.
All right, well, that goes back to November. Any city want to add anything else?
Your Honor, I mean, city agrees to what he's explaining to you, and we've been talking. He always been in contact with us, you know, and the delay on this case has been because he's located in a historical district. So, I mean, we agreed to stop the fine, hold the fines, and give him another 91 days, which I believe it would be more than
Exactly what I
enough.
was thinking. I'm going to stay the fines as of this date and grant a 91-day extension.
Yes,
Thank you,
sir.
Your Honor.
Thank you.
Okay. And probably do,
I just want to speak real quick. Joe Pascarella, I don't think I've got sworn in. Go ahead. Do I need to swear in? Todd?
you could, yeah.
I do. Joe Pascarello, Assistant Building Official on behalf of the city. One of the concerns that came in was a call from the Health Department where the business owner had moved his operation to the exterior parking lot and wasn't providing the toilet facility for the customers. So I'm not sure how that's been resolved.
We've resolved that. We're now allowing the customers to use the interior restroom.
Okay. And the portable toilet that was outside?
We're working on having that resolved.
Okay, is that part of, you had mentioned this?
No, that's going to be, that will be a separate submission, but it's not part of this particular citation.
Okay, you mentioned you had a CO, but I'm not sure how that was accomplished.
I don't think that I mentioned a CO. I'm not sure where.
Yeah, that was clearly part of your statement, that you had gotten a CO last month.
Oh, no, that was that was from the historic, that was not a CO. That was a certificate of appropriateness.
Okay, so that's a CA, okay. CO rather than a CA. Okay, so I just wanted to go on record as far as the complaint that we received from the health department, and apparently, you know, he seems to have addressed it. I'm gonna ask the inspector to confirm that, so we could at least move on with that portion.
all right, okay, thank you. The rule is a 91-day stay till August 18th, 2022.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you.
Our next case is a new business case on page 6. And Senior Inspector Alejandro Del Rio, property address 1812 Southeast First Ave, case number BE 22010071. Owner, Robert Carey and Camille Fenn. Notice posted at the property 4/30/22, posted at City Hall 5/5/22.
Building Inspector Alejandro Del Rio for the city, presenting case as read. This case was opened on January 13, 2022. Property was cited for the following violations: Florida Building Code 2020, Section 111.1.1, properties being occupied without obtaining a certificate of occupancy. Florida Building Code 2020, Section 105.3.2.1, permit number PM 18040671 was left to expire. Notice of hearing was posted at the property on April 30, 2022. Your Honor, this is a property that have several units. It's occupied. One of the units appears to be occupied by the owner. The other units appears to have been used for short-term rental, and this situation has been going on for a couple years, and they still don't have a certificate of occupancy. City is requesting 28 days to comply or $50 per day thereafter.
Okay. Any appearance by the owner? Good morning. If you'll speak right into the microphone and state your name, please.
Camille Fenn,
All right.
the owner.
Did you understand what this gentleman said?
I did.
Okay. What would you like to add?
Before this project, it seems like it's the permit fees that might be something that's, I don't want to say derailing the project, but that seems to be in question, that is stalling things more on the building department side. Before I started this project, I had asked the city architects and contractors what the permit fees would be, and I was told approximately 1.3 to 1.5% of the cost of the project. When I went to pull my permit, I was charged based on the entire scope of the project and paid for my permit fees from the beginning. As I continued with my construction, as I would open my sub-permits, I would be charged for the electrical or the plumbing and that portion of the case. So I I brought that to the attention of the building department, and I had created a spreadsheet monitoring my expenses and was coming to the conclusion that, you know, I was well above that. So I brought it to the attention of the building department, and they said, well, continue with your project and we'll revise that as you are more nearing the end. I was very close to the end of my project. I had passed roof, structural, doors, windows, landscaping, pool. And the last time an inspector came to my property, he was passing my fence. And he just mentioned, he goes, well, this project is moving along quite well. I said, yeah, I think I'm just down to mechanical and gas. And that's when the inspector told me that 2 of the inspectors had tested positive and that they didn't know what the mechanical department was going to do for inspections. I was informed by the gas company that they would be 6 months before they could come and connect my gas. So then COVID hit and we went into lockdown, but the property where I was living was a property that the city had talked me into selling so that something else could be built, and my project was being delayed, but right in full COVID, they asked me to vacate that property. So I moved in to this new property, without the hot water and the range and the laundry, and was going to the city at times or calling to try to, keep things in motion. And I approached the city, I think back in January. I finally got to speak to the last inspector that was at my property, and he said to go ahead and get my survey, and he would look into my permits and let me know what would come of that. I did get my survey. That took probably about 3 weeks. And then I just keep the ball rolling. I received an email from the city saying that all permits had been stalled during COVID were reopened, and that we had 30 days to complete, to close up our permits. So my calls to the city, I wasn't really getting anywhere. I finally met with Mr. Renkus. He gave me a list of all the permits that were, what their status were and whatnot, and suggested that I get in contact with Mr. Pasquarello, which I did. And I have the chronology of events here. I don't remember at what point he said, well, go ahead and fill out a new permit application. And obviously I was still with the mindset that I still needed to get to the city and rectify my permit fees. So when I went to pick up my permit application that was ready, it was showing a balance of $7,761, which was in contradiction to the letter that I had just received saying that everything had been paused and that I needed to get my permit back in time. So since then, I met with Mrs. I forgot her name. She sent me to Mrs. Dulcio, and I've been in communication with Mr. Dulcio, and she asked me to do again the breakdown.
Can you shorten the story?
Yeah, sorry, to break down and to determine what my permit
I don't have
fees
jurisdiction
should be.
over the fees.
I see. So she determined that my fees for my permit should be based on my project, $9,925. And obviously, I'm questioning why is there another
Okay, ma'am,
$7,000?
I don't have anything to do with that.
I see.
I don't
That
have
is
anything to do with that.
that is.
So I can't help you.
I see. So that is where I have gotten nowhere really with well, I've been told now that it's $9,925. I have, Mrs. Dulcio then suggested I email Mr. Travers, which I did. I brought here today all the emails that I've sent. And while this is not getting resolved, I received a violation for, well, occupying the property without my permit.
Right.
And now,
We're here today.
now they served me with a violation of operating a vacation rental without a license. So that's a different inspector. I've supplied Mr. Patrice Jolly.
Okay, ma'am, that's not before me today either. We have one simple issue, is that the property's being occupied without a certificate of occupancy, okay? I know you've been through some steps with the city, but let me hear from the city.
Yeah, I mean,
It really all boils down to a simple issue, so.
We're dealing with a permit that I believe was obtained, at some point as an owner builder. Correct me if I'm wrong?
It was obtained through, there was a contractor at
Okay,
the
but
beginning.
currently it's held as an owner builder?
That would be me, yes.
Okay, so we're dealing with a case where the homeowner has taken over responsibility, where there's lack of communication, perhaps unfamiliar with how the process works. But we're here before you to discuss merely the fact that the property's being occupied without a CO.
That's it.
We're not here to discuss permit fees. We're not here to discuss the history of that event. The fact of the matter is the property's being occupied without a CO. I believe the permit's going on 4 years. I recall having to help Mrs. Fenn as well. But that's the pressure we're under, that the property's being occupied without a CO. My suggestion would be for her to sit with management and come before us next month and find out how, we can't resolve it in this courtroom. So, as far as the permit,
For right now, the only things before me are listed on the agenda here. And I find that each violation does exist, 28 days to comply, $50 per day thereafter. Thank you, ma'am.
On the vacation rental, I've just given Mr.
I don't know
Jolly.
anything about a vacation.
That's a
rental.
separate-
It's not on the agenda. I don't know anything about it.
That's a separate code case.
I can't talk about it.
28 days to comply, meaning to get my CO?
Yeah. So you're gonna have to communicate with the city and try to work these things out. But for right now, 28 days to comply, $50 per day thereafter. Thank you, ma'am. Good luck.
I have to ask, what is my recourse if,
Ma'am,
if-
your recourse is to comply within 28 days.
Right.
Perhaps you should consider getting legal counsel.
Right. Yes, Patricia Saintville Joseph, Assistant City Attorney. Ma'am, unfortunately, the judge cannot advise you as to your legal rights, nor can we. So the best thing would be to seek legal counsel. But there is a ruling on the books at this point. Thank you.
Our next case is on page 8. Inspector Leonardo Martinez, property address 3331 Southwest 20th Street. Owner Deanna Diakil, excuse me for mispronouncing. Case number BE 211-20077. Notice posted at the property on 4/1/22, posted at City Hall 5/5/22.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Building Inspector Leo Martinez, case and address as read. I visited this property on January 11th of 2022. When in the property, I observed a paver driveway and a PVC gates that were installed without permits. The property was cited for work without permits on the FBC 2020, section 105.1. The case was opened and inspection report was mailed to the owner on January 11th of 2022. The final notice was mailed to the property owner and this, on February 17th of 2022, and the notice of hearing was posted at the property on April 1st of 2022. The paver driveway was removed, so that violation was complied. And the new PVC gate fence permit was applied on May 4th of 2022. All the reviews on these permits has been approved. The issue now is that they apply for another permit, and this permit came a sub-permit. So the permit won't be issued until the other permit is completed and it's get ready to be issued. It gets ready to be issued. So basically, this case is compliant, but I cannot comply it until the gate permit comes out of the city. So that's what I would request. We're asking that the violation exists, of course, and that the property owner, we would like to grant an extension of 120 days just to give her the time for the other permit, which is the master, to come become issued, so this gate permit can be issued as well. But the permit for the gate is completely ready to get picked up, but the city won't issue it until the master be the process on the master be issued.
Okay, I'm confused by the other permit.
Okay. The master permit, she's doing another construction. I don't know what it is, and they apply for that as a master, and they put the gates as a sub permit. The process on the review of the gate permit, the gates permit, the PVC gates, is completed, but the permit won't be issued because the master is not ready. You understand?
Okay, all right.
So that's what I'm asking, requesting 120 days to help her, which the master permit doesn't have anything to do with the violation.
All right. Okay, so the city's request is what, 119 days?
120 days, yes.
Let's
Extension.
do 119, which will
Okay, perfect.
with the hearing, most likely. Okay, but you get to speak too, ma'am. State your name, please.
Danielle DeShiel.
All right. Anything, apparently there's a little twist here, but the city's request is we give you 119 days to get all the paperwork in order.
Yes.
That acceptable?
Yes.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna, grant 100 and, what are we, well, this is new business. Is it technically we'll just grant 119-day extension, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
But what about the fine?
No fines, Tasha, because her permit is ready to be issued, but it can be because it's attached to the master permit of another construction that she's doing in her house.
Okay.
That doesn't have anything to do with the violation.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Very good. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
At this time, Your Honor, we need to take a brief recess. Thank you.
All right.
Okay, thank you for your patience. Picking up on page 7, it's a new business case, Inspector Leonardo Martinez, property address 2601 East Oakland Park Boulevard, owner MHC Oakland Park Owner LLC, case number BE 211-00327. Notice posted at the property 4122, posted at City Hall 5522.
Good morning, Your Honor. Building Inspector Leonardo Martinez, case and address as read. We received a complaint about an exterior wall that was removed in this property. When I visited the property with Court Inspector Hector Suarez, who was the one that opened the case and transferred it to me, we observed that the evidence of the wall that was removed, we observed the evidence. Back in the office, we searched at BCPA and we found that the picture of the exterior wall that was removed without permit. The property was cited for work without permit on the FBC 2020, section 105.1. This case was open and inspection report was sent to the property owner on October 26 of 2020. The final notice was mailed to the property owner on December 2nd of 2021. The notice of hearing was posted at the property on April 1st of 2022. No permit hasn't been applied yet. Your name is?
Tanya Murphy.
Ms. Murphy been in contact with me, letting me know all what they've been doing, trying to get an engineer or an architect or design professional to draw whatever they're going to put in there and get it approved to the city. Apparently, she told me now that they have submitted yesterday, late afternoon, the permit application. But until now, I cannot confirm that. So we are asking your owner to find that the violation exists and to grant the property owner 91 days to come into compliance or fine of $50 per day thereafter.
Okay, ma'am. Speak right into the microphone and state your name, please.
My name is Tanya Murphy. I'm the property manager for 2601 East.
All right.
I've been working with Inspector Martinez. We're in the process of getting the permit submitted. It was submitted yesterday, so we're okay with the extension and getting it taken care of.
Sounds good. For the record, I find the violation does exist. 91 days to comply, $50 per day thereafter.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you.
Our next case is on page 10, Senior Inspector Alejandro Del Rio, property address 520, sorry, wrong page. 520. One moment, please. That's the wrong page number. Is there a respondent here for 520 Southeast Fifth Avenue? You here for 520 Southeast Fifth Avenue? Okay, one moment, please. Thank you.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
We're on page.
It's on page 13.
13.
Inspector Leonardo Martinez, property address 520 Southeast Fifth Ave, owner Las Olas by the River Condo Association, Inc., case number BE 2107-0378. This case was first heard 11/18/21 to comply by 117/22. One section not complied at $100. City is requesting to impose fines of $12,100, which continues to accrue.
Inspector Martinez representing the city, case and address as read. I'm going to let the defendant to speak.
All right, ma'am, if you'll speak right to the microphone and state your name, please.
Colleen Cooney.
All right, tell me what's happening here.
I took over the property in December, and when I was made aware of the violations, I was in contact with the city, Leonardo, and the engineers and the contractors submitted the permit application and the change orders, and then the city came back with corrections. So the engineer, and then we've been going back and forth, and then they resubmitted all the corrections, and we're just waiting on the permit approval.
Your Honor?
Yes.
The review, the corrections were submitted on May 12th. They are in the process. I mean, we will agree to an extension of 63 days and hold the fines.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna, stay the fines as of this date and grant a 63-day extension.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Our next case is on page 3, Inspector Nashmatic, property address 1451 Northeast 10th Ave. Owner, Catalonia FL Holdings, Inc., case number BE 22010035. Notice posted at the property on 3/28/22, posted at City Hall 5522.
Good morning, Your Honor. Inspector Maddock presenting the case and for the address as read. I visited this property on January 12th, 2021. When I arrived at this property, observed a new fence was installed and also observed a new gazebo installed in the back of the house. At the time of my visit, permit was not obtained for either one of those two items. Case was cited under City Ordinance Article 9-1D, work without obtaining a permit. The case was opened January 11, 22, I'm sorry. Inspection report was mailed to the property owner on January 12th, 2022. Final notice was mailed on February 16 of 2022. And notice of hearing was posted on property on March 18, 2022. Current status of the case, fence permit application BLD-FEN-220500022 was applied on May 5th, 2022, and is awaiting client's reply. Permit for gazebo structure has not been applied for at this time, and as far as we know, it's still there. We're asking Your Honor to find that the violation exists and to grant the property owner 28 days to come into compliance or a fine of $50 per violation per day.
Okay. All right, sir, if you'll speak right in the microphone and state your name, please.
Edrin Janvier, property manager.
Understand what this gentleman said?
Yes, sir.
Okay, anything you'd like to add?
No.
Okay, I find the violation does exist. 28 days to comply, $50 per day thereafter.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 5. Senior Inspector Alejandro Del Rio, property address 1231 Northeast 9th Ave, case number BE 22040151. Owner, Transformer Realty LLC. Notice posted at the property on 4/28/22, posted at City Hall 5522.
Building Inspector Alejandro Del Rio for the city, presenting case as read. This case was opened on April 20, 2022. I visited the property on April 21st, 2022 and observed the current use of the property. The property was cited for the following violation. Use and occupancy, Florida Building Code 2020, Section 111.1.1. The use and occupancy of the property has been changed from warehouse to bar lounge without obtaining the required certificate of occupancy. A notice of hearing was posted at the property on April 28, 2022. City is requesting 90 days to come into compliance or $50 per day thereafter.
Okay. All right, ma'am, if you'll speak right into the microphone and state your name, please.
Sheena Walsh.
All right. Do you understand what this gentleman said?
I do.
Okay, anything you'd like to add?
There's not.
Okay, so I'm going to find the violation does exist. 91 days to comply, $50 per day thereafter.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 14. Inspector Leonardo Martinez, property address 5300 Powerline Road A. Owner, Desert Powerline LLC, case number BE 21030001. This case was first heard on 9/16/21. To comply by 3/17/22. Fine suspended as noted. One section not complied at $100. City is requesting to impose the full amount of $2,700, which continues to accrue.
Good morning, Your Honor. Inspector Martinez representing the city. Case and others as read. I'm going to let the defendant to speak.
Your Honor, good morning. Michael Pizzi on behalf of Desert Powerline and Extreme Action Park. I would note that Extreme Action Park is over 300,000 square foot, and it's one of the biggest facilities we have in our wonderful city, and they had to do a complete as-built on a 300,000 square foot facility. I would note we came here in front of Your Honor And, Your Honor, with the full agreement of the city and Mr. Oliva and Mr. Martinez, they've been fantastic. They've been really great to work with. We want to thank them for their cooperation. But with their agreement, the deadline was extended until April 21st to get the permit in. So the last time we were here with the agreement of Mr. Oliva and Mr. Martinez, we said as follows. The city agreed, and Your Honor agreed, to extend the deadline to get the permit in until April 21st. But we also made it clear that there would be, it might take some time because it's such a huge, 3-story, 300,000 square foot facility. It might take time to address staff's comments. So I want to note two things. The permit was submitted on April 21st prior to that deadline expiring. So just two points. The permit was submitted on April 21st prior to the deadline expired and on the exact date that we agreed we would do it. And I've spoken with Mr. Martinez and Mr. Oliva, and the city has indicated that since the permit was submitted on time, that they're in agreement with a 90-day extension to just address some additional comments by the building department staff. So I think that since the permit was submitted on time, and since Mr. Oliva and Mr. Martinez are in full agreement with a 90-day extension just to address the comments, we would ask that we just, consistent with what they've agreed to, that we extend by 90 days the opportunity to address the staff's comments on the permit that was submitted on time, and we are confident that we'll get it done.
Okay, Your Honor. I don't understand what the question that you have. If it's in regard to the fines or however. Okay, what the city will add, sir, Your Honor, is we had agreed to an extension. They submitted the permit application. Okay, the permit still needs to be issued, so it's in the review process now. So we can be agreed to an extension of another 90 days to get him.
I'm going to stay the fines as of this date and grant a 91-day extension.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. It's good to see you, and thanks to your excellent staff. You have the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Be safe. Thank you. Be safe. Thanks.
Our next case is on page 11. Inspector Nash Maddock. Property address 2709 Northwest 20th Street. Owner Louis N. McCutcheon. Case number CE 1107-1949. This case was first heard on 10/20/11 to comply by 11/17/11. Fine suspended as noted. One section complied at $25. I'll let the inspector finish.
Good morning, Your Honor. Inspector Maddock presenting the case as read. This case came into compliance. However, there is fines to be imposed on.
Okay, city's requesting no fines.
There is fines, $1,500.
Okay, ma'am, if you'll state your name for the record. All right, city's not requesting any fines, so I'm assuming you have no objection to that. Okay, no fines will be imposed. Thank you. Fines will be abated.
Thank you. Our next case is on page 10. Senior Inspector Alejandro Del Rio, property address 622 Southwest 16th Court. Owner Kimberly Spout, Joseph Spout, homestead exempted. Case number is BE 2108-0126. This case was first heard on 12/16/21 to comply by 127/22. Fine suspended as noted. One section complied at $50. Total fines, $2,400. City is requesting to reduce fine to administrative costs of $172.
Building Inspector Alejandro Rio for the city, presenting case as read, and the city's request have been read.
All right, sir, just for the record, if you'll state your name.
Good morning. Yeah, Joseph Spalt.
All right, I assume you're in agreement to waiving the fines and imposing administrative cost of $172.
That's correct. Thank you.
All right, so done, so ordered.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sir, what case are you here for? Did you sign in? You're just observing? Okay. Your Honor, this concludes all of our respondents. I would like to go back to starting at page 1 with Inspector Linda Holloway. As soon as she gets her things and comes to the podium. Property address 215 North New River Drive East. Owner PR2 Styles Rollo Apartments. Owner LLC. Case number BE 22020060. Notice delivered via personal service to leasing consultant on 3/30/22. Posted at City Hall 5522.
Good morning, Your Honor. Inspector Linda Holloway on behalf of the city, presenting case BE 220266. I'm sorry, BE 22020060. Property address 215 North New River Drive East. I checked the backflow solutions on February 14th, 2022, and found that the property is in violation of Code Section 28-155.A. The existing backflow prevention device has not been tested for the subsequent recertification as per request of City of Fort Lauderdale Municipal Code of Ordinances, Code of Ordinances, Chapter 25-153 and 28-155. Final notice was mailed, first class, February 14, 2022, and given 30 days to comply. Notice of hearing was hand-delivered to and signed for by Amanda Rana, leasing consultant, on March 30th, 2022. A pre-hearing check of Backflow Solution Systems on May 18th, 2022 shows that the violation remains. The city is requesting 42 days to comply or a fine of $50 per day thereafter.
I'm sorry, how many days?
42 days,
42. 42, I'm sorry.
yes, and
Thank you.
$50 a day thereafter.
Find the violation does exist, 42 days to comply, $50 per day thereafter.
Thank
Hang
you,
on
Your
one
Honor.
second. Do we have any control over the thermostat in here? It's cold in here.
Our next case, Inspector Hector Suarez, property address 201 Southwest 27th Ave, case number BE 211-10146. Owner Adnan Enterprises LLC. Notice posted at the property on 4/8/22. Posted at City Hall 5522.
Good morning, Your Honor. Inspector Suarez presenting case as read. As of today, building permit BLD-ACC-22040003 has been issued. The violation is complied.
Okay, thank you.
Have a good day.
You too.
Moving on to page 2, Inspector Jose Saragusti, property address 831 Northwest 14th Way, 1-2. Owner Yossi Asef, case number BE 22020033. Notice posted at the property on 4/27/22. Posted at City Hall 5522.
Good morning, Your Honor. Inspector Saragusti on behalf of the city presenting the case as read. Driveway repair, new wood fence and covered patio structure. The property was cited for work without permit under Florida Building Code 2020-105.1. The case was opened on February 7, 2022. Inspection report was mailed out on February 10, 2022, and final notice was mailed out on March 10, 2022. Notice of hearing posted at the property and on April 27, 2022. The case is not comply. We are asking the board to the owner they find that the violation exists and to grant the property owner 62 days to come in compliance or a fine of $50 per day thereafter.
I'm sorry, how many days?
63.
6/3, okay. Okay, I find the violation does exist, 63 days to comply, $50 per day thereafter.
Thank you.
At the bottom of page 2, Chief George Oliva, property address 101 North Birch Road, owner Harbor House North Inc., case number BE 22020029. Notice delivered via personal service to board member on 4/1/22, posted at City Hall on 5/5/22.
Joshua Oliva on behalf of the city, case and address as read. This is a 40-year case, and the report was submitted to the city, but it failed due to correction requires. So the city is asking for a 180-day extension for the property owners to come into compliance by submitting a new report of $100 per day thereafter.
Okay, I find the violation does exist, 180 days to comply, $100 per day thereafter.
Page 3, Chief George Oliva, property address 111 Southwest 2nd Ave, owner Nugent Avenue Retail LLC, case number BE 22010042. Notice posted at the property on 4/21/22, posted at City Hall 5/5/22.
George Oliva on behalf of the city, case and address as read. This is a 40-year case, and the report was submitted to the city, but it did fail the review. At this moment, the city is requesting a 180-day extension for the property owners to come into compliance of $100 per day thereafter.
Okay, I find the violation does exist, 180 days to comply, $100 per day thereafter.
Moving on to page 3 at the bottom. 6. Oh, I keep saying, I'm sorry, it is 6. 6 at the bottom, Inspector Leonardo Martinez, property address 1013 Northeast 13th Street, owner Palm Point Warehouse LLC, case number BE 22040080. Notice posted at the property on 4/13/22, posted at City Hall 5/5/22.
Inspector Martinez representing the city, case and address as read. This case was sent to us by the fire department. I met the property with Damon, who worked for the owner. He gave me access into the units. The units are being used as a storage. I observed the ceiling of unit 1013 that may appear to be or to collapse at any time. I posted the property as unsafe. I also observed the header of the garage door of unit 1017 that was in disrepair. There are stucco cracks around the exterior of the building. The owner will have to provide us with an engineer prescribed remedy or repair report within 14 days or apply for a demolition permit. The property was cited for under FPC 2020, section 116.1.1, unsafe buildings, and also on the city ordinance 9-306 because the exterior of the building walls have not been maintained. Structural parts are in disrepair. This case was opened and inspection report was mailed to the property owner on April 12th of 2022. The notice of hearing was posted at the property on April 13th of 2022. We haven't received the engineer letter requested to the owner, and no permit application has been submitted. We are asking your honor to find that the violation exists and to grant the property owner of 56 days to come into compliance or fines of $50 per violation per day thereafter.
Okay, I find the violation do exist, 56 days to comply, $50 per day thereafter.
Page 7, property address 1384 Southwest 22nd Ave, owner Sauer Vandenberg, case number BE 22010063. Notice posted at the property on 4/1/22, posted at City Hall 5/5/22.
Inspector Martinez representing the city, case and others as read. I visited this property. I met with Martin, Mr. Martin, who was the tenant at that time, and also the complainant. He allowed me access into the property. There was an addition built between 2019 and 2021 on the north side of the house, including change of roof geometric. There are 2 new slabs in the back. I observed electrical work inside the front porch, new AC and new AC closet on the living room area. New exhaust fan added on the bathroom window, located in the rear of the property, new wooden fence on the south side, and new window and door. The property was cited for work without permit on the Florida Building Code 2020, Section 105.1. This case was open and inspection report was sent to the property owner on January 24th of 2022. The final notice was sent to the property owner on February 24th of 2022, and the notice of hearing was posted at the property on April 1st of 2022. In April 7 of 2022, an architect that was hired by the owner called to asking some questions about the violation, but until today, no permit has been applied. We're asking your honor to find that the violation exists and to grant the property owner 91 days to come into compliance or fines for $50 per violation per day thereafter.
Okay, I find the violations do exist, 91 days to comply, $50 per day thereafter.
Moving on to page 8, at the top, property address 3031 Northeast 51st Street. Owner, Heritage Landings Association, Inc. Case number BE 2201-0104. Notice posted at the property on 4/13/22, posted at City Hall 5/5/22.
Inspector Martinez representing the city, case analysis as read. I visited this property and observed that a new pool shower was installed. No record found in the city for the work that was performed. After consulting with Chief Plumbing Enrique Salvador, the property was cited for work without permit under FBC 2020, Section 105.1. This case was opened and an inspection report was sent to the property owner on January 27th of 2022. The final notice was sent to the property owner on March 4th of 2022. The notice of hearing was posted at the property on April 13th of 2022. No permit has been applied. We're asking your honor to find that the violation exists and to grant the property owner 56 days to come into compliance or fines of $50 per violation per day thereafter.
Okay, I find the violation does exist, 56 days to comply, $50 per day thereafter.
Okay. Property address 3041 Northeast 49th Street. Owner BPL LLC. Case number BE 2201-0102. Notice delivered via personal service to store manager on 4/1/22, posted at City Hall 5/5/22.
Building Inspector Leo Martinez representing the city, case and address as read.
One moment, please. She said that.
A text from who?
Katrina.
Okay.
For the lien reduction.
Okay.
She said they have to come back. The owner flew in from Canada. I assume that's him.
Okay.
So I guess. Has the case? No, it's for a lien reduction case. It's not for this. Not on this document. Yeah, but I don't know where. Are we still on the record on this case? Yes. Okay, can we finish this case first? Okay, I just want to let him know.
Okay. No, no problem. I understand. Okay. Building Inspector Leonardo Martinez representing the city, case and address as read. I was coming to Building 3100 Northeast 49th Street with Inspector Nash Maddock to do an inspection when I observed a paving company finishing paving on the right-of-way of the building. I walked toward them, and after asking for permit, I stopped them to drop the last load of asphalt. There was no permit for that scope of work. The property was cited for work without permit under FBC 2020, Section 105.1, paving in the right-of-way without permits. This case was open and inspection report was sent to the property owner on January 19th of 2022. The final notice was sent to the property owner on March 1st of 2022, and the notice of hearing was posted at the property on April 1st of 2022. Permit for right-of-way improvement was applied on April 12th of 2022. The permit is under review We're asking your owner to find that the violation exists and to grant the property owner 56 days to come into compliance or fines of $50 per day thereafter.
I'm sorry, how many days?
56.
6-3? 5-6, 56, all right. I find the violation does exist, 56 days to comply, $50 per day thereafter. Okay, was this?
Your Honor, may
Hang on one second,
may we take a, right, may we take a 5-minute recess so
Yes,
that we can
yes, I was
address
gonna
the issue?
Yes, I was gonna suggest that.
File nearby?
Right, I don't know the,
The agenda?
right, I don't know the issues, so I'd like a 5-minute recess so I can address it with staff. Thank you.
Okay, page 10, hearing to impose fines, Inspector Jorge Martinez, property address 2665 Middle River Drive, owner Park Ridge Apartments Condo Association, Inc., case number CE 201-00695. This case was first heard 8/19/21 to comply by 9/23/21. Fine suspended as noted. One section complied at $50. City's requesting to impose the full amount of $2,750. Property address 1132 Northwest 5th Court, owner PAJJ Investments LLC, case number BE 200-50298. This case was first heard 8/19/21 to comply by 9/30/21. Fine suspended as noted. One section not complied at $50. City is requesting to impose the full amount of $8,700, which continues to accrue. I think your mic is off, is it? Page 11 at the bottom. Inspector Nash Maddock, property address 2740 Northwest 16th Street, owner YAS Holdings LLC, case number CE 201-00589. This case was first heard on 2/18/21 to comply by 4/22/21. One section complied at $50. City is requested to impose the full amount of $17,000.
Okay, city's request is granted.
Oh, yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Page 12, Chief George Oliva, property address 211 Southwest 16th Street, owner East Side Toy Storage 1 LLC, case number BE 2004-0454. This case was first heard on 2/18/21 to comply by 4/1/21. One section complied at $100. City is requesting to reduce fines to administrative costs of $1,275.
And the city's request is granted.
Thank you. Property address 1302 East Las Olas Boulevard, owner First Presbyterian Church of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Inc., case number BE 2005-0432. This case was first heard on 5/20/21 to comply by 7/1/21. One section not complied at $100. City is requesting fines to be imposed at $32,100, which continues to accrue. Chief would like to speak. Go ahead.
This case really needs to be, the fine needs to be imposed. We came in front of you a year ago, May 20, 2021, and we provide them with an extension of time to comply. And they haven't done anything else. They haven't sent up a report. They haven't talked to us. So we really want the fine to be imposed.
You're still requesting the fines to be imposed?
Yes, sir.
Okay, the request is granted.
Moving on to page 13 at the bottom. Property address 1121 Southwest 15th Avenue, case number BE 2107-0012. Owner James and Marion James. This case was first heard on 11/18/21 to comply by 2/17/22. One section complied at $50. City is requesting to have fines reduced to administrative costs of $1,275.
That request is granted.
Page 14. Property address 1748 Northwest 29th Way. Owner James Poole. Case number CE 2007-1328. This case was ordered to reappear. This case was first heard on 5/20/21 to comply by 8/19/21. Fine suspended as noted. City is requested to impose the full amount of $11,850, which continues to accrue.
The city's request is granted.
Property address 2617 Northeast 13th Court. Owner AMC Frost's Beach House 2 LLC. Case number BE 2106-0081. This case was first heard on 9/16/21 to comply by 12/9/21. Fine suspended as noted. One section complied at $50. City is requesting to reduce fines to administrative cost of $1,275.
That request is granted.
Your Honor, at this time, we would like to enter all the cases that are listed on page 15 into the record as closed or rescheduled.
Granted.
And this concludes our May 19, 2022 special magistrate hearing for the building division.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor, for filling in at the last minute. Thank you, Patricia. You'll never forget this day.